Correct.
Yeah. Next question. Next question.
Okay, there are multiple interactions.
Okay, answer also given.
How much data is the application that handle the what are the multiple?
I would like to add one point over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
The timing of the file also important.
Process.
Like when the file is coming.
Okay, you're answering for the previous question or this one?
This one.
No,
only,
this question.
Okay, okay.
Also, Venkat, one thing I want to add here, because the same scenario we faced in current case, where after particular time frame, that file automatically get archived into the another folder. Okay, so we also have to make sure, if like he said, if timing is incorrect, then we are facing that file is not received. This is a recent encounter I faced here in mainframe. So that also we need to make sure that one point, that if there is any auto archive process is there or not.
Okay.
Venkat, to add to it, we also should validate the head of date and the time against the system time, whether it is the latest file that which we have received, and we also make sure that the record count which is towards appended at the end of the record is also same. Otherwise, if the file is which we are receiving is previous days, then we should send out a mail to the concerned team. That is one thing we have to check.
Okay, fine.
There are some trigger jobs in many applications. So when new file comes, so those jobs trigger using that file. So those files are the predecessor of those jobs. So we have to take care always whether we are receiving unusual timing new file or not. If we are receiving, so as a trigger job is there, so it should be run in the given time only. If we receive the file, it should not trigger. So we have to ask the scheduler team to make arrangement if 2 or 3 files come simultaneously. So which file it will process. So this is what actually the strategy part should be before implementing any kind of system. So that's it.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, hi Venkat, I want to take this up.
This one?
Yeah, SOC 7 and how we can resolve it. Kunal here, Venkat.
No. See, no, resolving, please. Okay, already my YouTube channel itself, I placed the video.
Correct. Okay.
There are even different video channels are there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
correct. No. I'll tell you how without display, how can you do that? Correct. So so first, whenever the job events, okay, we need to check out the particular offset values. Correct. Once we have the offset values, we go in compile listing, and then we need to check which number, that particular number, the 6 digit, of which is the closest one. Okay. So in that, once we have the particular para, I'll take that particular module into the intertest or XP editor. Okay. And we'll do the interaction based on that. I'll put a breakpoint, and just by pressing F5, my code will directly jump into the para which is having an issue. And automatically that I'll keep the values, and based on that, my value will going to populate automatically. So the same thing we encountered in here. So this is how we resolve that.
Okay, fine. See, the other point which I want to add here, then after that I'll go to the next question. By default, by default you will not get any offset value. So we need to change compiler option. Then only you will get it. See, if you get, well and good. So there are few occurrences, compiler option will not generate any offset value. So the question, again, cross question, what is the compiler option to generate the offset value? Okay. So now you can give me the answer, anyone. What is the compiler option?
Link.
POM equal to
No, not link.
list.
Exactly.
Offset is equal to there is some option
list.
like.
Wait. So I'll close it. Okay. POM is equal to list. POM is equal to list is the correct answer. So I guess it is
Sorry?
a SOC 4.
Can you write here?
Okay, one more thing. One more. I mean, one more point I need to add to the previous question. Say, for example, if an input file is having, say, for example, 1 million records, and how to and the job abandoned, say, for example, at the top 10,000th record. So how to identify the exact record and restart the job to the SOC 4 abandoned.
You are talking about SOC 4?
No, SOC 7. Sorry.
I have an answer for that, Shiva. Srinivas here. So, lockdown is caused due to the movement of a character into a numeric or like that, vice versa. If we know the exact field where we are getting the top 7 again, we can write a shortcut for that for taking that particular field, and we can write a condition field after giving the fields in the shortcut. If it is if it is characters are copying into numeric field, we can give not equal to numeric. We can get that particular record into the output file.
This is SC4, SC04, not SOC 4.
Yes. Yeah, no, SOC 7 you asked, right? Someone.
Hey, wait. Okay, see what is giving the answer is for like. See, the question is different. Okay, what the discussion is happening is correct. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Venkat, one thing, what is the compiler option that you're going to use for SOC 7 so that offset value will come? You answer that. I mean, we don't know.
I already written actually.
Okay. Program list. Okay. Farm list.
Venkat, I have one question. We have suppose particular offset value. This is the number one situation. Second is if we don't have, we search hex lock, then we get the range. In between some error happened, SOC 7. So if we give perm equal to list, so the particular offset we will get, or we will get the range also. Means what is the difference between when we get range or when we get particular offset?
Just compile option.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So my question is very simple, straightforward. Two type of scenarios are there. When I used to resolve the SOC 7, I used to get offset range in between SOC 7 happened. And second scenario is I get the particular offset and then the line number, and I go to again then compilation JCL, I can see to run JCL, right? So that is another thing. So I just want to know perm equal to list for both, or if we don't give, then we get the only range. So I'm not sure about it.
Anyone wants to answer? Otherwise, we can jump into another one.
See, I mean, I just want
range. We are not sure about. But if you
range,
use list, right, you will get the exact offset location.
Correct.
With that, if you go to the compiler listing, you will get the exact statement like where it is occurring.
And say many a time whatever the offset value comes, right, it does not always going to match with your compile listing. So in that you have to consider the range, and in that range you will get the particular field. So nearby 3-4 lines above, 3 lines below,
No,
blob.
that, 1 second. Actually, I know the procedure how to resolve it.
1 minute.
I know.
Abhishek, I request you, please let me continue my own flow. I request you only. So please request everyone. I don't want to get into the discussion part. So please, okay. It is you guys, whatever the questions I am going to list, we discuss only on them. If you are okay, if you want to add, I will create one more time Google form. You're good to fill it. Okay. So this our target is to finish the questions which I have it. And no more discussions, only the answers. So this is the request I got from multiple users. I'm doing the same. Abhishek, and you also give the single maximum 6-word statement answer, not as a sentence. Go ahead. Next.
Okay.
Okay. And wait, okay, you have to give other chance to others also, Abhishek. There are 1 or 3. Okay, that's the reason I said wait for a couple of minutes. Okay, I know you are trying to give the best answer, but please wait. Yeah, next one, give me the answer. So you can consider a SOC 4. Okay, maybe it is typo error. So go with the SOC 4. Anyone can take?
If nobody want to answer, I'll take it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Kunal, so when SOC 4 generally happen, I'll check whether my subscript and index are defined correctly or not, especially the subscript one. Also, I'll check whether the move statement that I'm moving the particular field, that particular field which belong to a file, that file is correctly open or not. So also the incorrect DD statements that is said. Those 3 scenarios I know. I'll check based on that scenarios.
Correct, I agree. So there are more than 3 scenarios are there. Okay, so
Correct.
if there is, I guess, if you give accept something, it is there. Okay, so more than 3 scenarios are there where we get the SOC 4. So Kunal, you are
And
correct.
adding to that, if there is a invalid LREXL is given in the file in the program.
Correct, that is also correct. If the record length is mismatched, there are high chances to get SOC 4 also. Okay, fine. It is viable to search. Okay, let me.
Take from the bottom then randomly.
No. Top initial question only having scenario based questions.
Okay.
Okay, so because I filtered it already.
Okay.
Hey, hi, this is Srinivasan here. For this question, we can use sort.
Yeah.
Like
So
in
2 scenarios, COBOL or JCL, because both the cases are possible in this.
Yeah, so correct. So yes, okay. So answer is we can take sort utility, or we can write through COBOL program also by using counter variables. We can do it. So you agree with me, right?
Yeah, sort utility you can use. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
To write first.
This is also sort utility only.
we can use split for this one. Split and sort.
Yeah, split by something it is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Venkat, just a request. Can you just paste the last question? Not before that. No, before that, I just forget to take a screenshot of that.
No, I'll send it. No, don't worry. I'll send the questions.
Okay.
I'll send this Excel sheet to everyone. Okay.
Okay. That's fine then. That's fine.
Everything I'll submit. Okay.
Okay, Venkat, fine.
Again, we can use sort for this one to write the
Can you
trailer.
track an optionality of sort?
So wherever the file comes, then there is answer is sort. How we do it? In high level answer, sort is correct. At least if you say the keyword, then people
M11.
The possible,
Venkat,
I guess.
You have a trailer in option and sort to achieve this.
M11.
Can we use reformatting thing? Join keys or reformat concept?
Remove CC.
Yeah.
You have 5 records and 5 files, so you can give it. You can concatenate all the 5 files and you can give it in sort in. And then you can use the trader concept in sort to write the count. So join keys might not be needed.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, can we not use ICE tool as well for this scenario? I'm just asking.
Yes, ICE tool can also be used. The count operator from ICE tool can be used.
Yeah, ICE tool we can use it. It is advanced version of sort only. So whatever you can do with from sort, you can also do with ICE tool.
Question is how we're gonna do it.
into the next question.
Hi Venkat, Piyush here. I just want to take it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So to decide like whether the call is a static or a dynamic, so by looking at the program, we can see the static calls are called using the call and a single quotes the program name, and in the dynamic call, we can identify it as like we are moving the program name into the working storage variable, and then using that working storage variable name, we say call and that particular WS variable name. So this is how.
In addition to this,
Okay, yeah, you answered this question that I got it, but the question is one more thing is there, right? So this is the answer. The question is there here. So see, are we going to decide based on the Endeavor tool or depends on the requirement? I don't think based on the Endeavor tool with my minimal knowledge.
It might be confusing the person, right? I'm not sure. Does it any impact? Because I never used Endeavor as of now.
I don't think based on Endeavor it will be decided. It's based on the requirement only.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think it's just for
someone
confusion.
explain about Endeavor so that we
Wait. No. It's not the right time to discuss. Okay. Endeavor.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
So Endeavor is
Okay.
Go on, meet everyone.
Okay.
Endeavor is similar to Changeman. Okay. Endeavor is similar to Changeman tool. So it's a version control tool in high level. Yeah. So I'm giving a conclusion here that we don't decide based on the Changeman. This is just one flexibility which we have for version control tool. But based on this, we don't decide type of the call. Based on the business requirement, we are going to take the call whether we have to go with static or dynamic. And initially we discussed already on the same.
Correct.
Same. Okay. So which one we have to prefer?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in Changeman, through a respective, we can do it.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Next, second answer.
I'll check like that based on the tagging, like which is the latest tag, and I'll based on the like the correct tag has been given or not. Based on that, I'll take the latest module.
Venkat, can I answer?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So for the latest one, Endeavor is the tool to check. We have two levels, level 1, level 2. So in testing, there are level 2 categories. So level 2 always will have the latest retrofitted member. So retrofitted member should be there. If any error is there, it will not promote it. So we have to check what is the latest to L2 library. Through Endeavor, we can check out that member, and we have to make sure that that member should not be signed out by anyone else. So that is the right approach.
Sir, just want to add, if there is no Endeavor, like how you, in general terms, how you will identify, because people will do the changes in the personal thing.
No, so that is the wrong practice. We must have any version control tool in any system. If we don't have, we need some upgradation in the system. So I did not find any scenario like that. So it's not a right practice.
Okay. Thank you.
Venkat, to add to it, right? So whenever, if you want to check out the latest code in a Changeman, there is a query option, which you can just query by the component name. By that, you can just go out. And the other thing that which we can do at the project level is maintain if you're, because this question is like more relevant to me. We are working on one production, this thing where 5 different teams are working. So each and every day they every person will code it and push it. So we maintain a contention spreadsheet across who's the coder and who has done the latest change. So we just go and check out from the latest package from the change van.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Prem.
First recording 1, second recording file 2.
Same
I
question.
will answer. Yeah, I think I will answer this. I think in short we can do is using by split by technique.
Okay. Yes, we got similar question earlier also.
Are we not going to discuss the logic because the question says give me the logic?
Yeah, I agree. So if it is a COBOL, I don't have start utility. That is the cross question, right?
It's no problem, Venkat. We can move on because at least we can share. When you share the Excel sheet, we can do our research on that and we'll try to find some solutions.
Fine. Okay. So if you don't have any COBOL logic, yes, we go next one.
Venkat, I think with counter we can do that logic. After fourth record, we can initially counter to 0.
Okay.
Based on the counter, we can map it to the certain file.
I agree. Correct. Valid.
Sorry, what is it?
Using count variable, so we can move into the respective files based on the requirement.
Okay, count variable.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Venkat. So this question I want to take it up. I recently answered this question. So what I answered, if you make a changes to call. So first, if there is only select statement, okay. So he asked me what is the impact if any new column is added into the table. Okay, what are the scenarios you will check? So first, I'll check whether what are the column that is added to the existing table. That column I'm going to use in my COBOL code or not. If it is not using, correct. So, and I'm having only select statement in my COBOL, in my module, then there will be no impact as such, correct. If there is a update or insert operation that's going to perform using this column, then I have to make sure that current DCL gen, we need to create the latest DCL gen and need to compile it so that we can have a latest DCL gen. Third, I have answered him, like if there is any, do we want to add a new column into it or not? Because there are a few cases where the same column might be present in some other table, which can justify his requirement. So I can do the join and can satisfy the condition. So these 3 answers I gave to him. I don't know whether it's correct or not, but we just shared.
Any second answer? Any? I mean, to say confirm yes, correct or not.
Venkat, I would like to add. So what steps that he told is like correct because if we are doing a cursor, right? If we are having those select query in a cursor, because in a cursor we mostly go for like select, update, and or delete. So we have to make sure that is also followed up. I mean, like what he told is correct.
Yeah, actually, what the answers are correct, but this question is more often says it's changing the existing column. It's not about actually adding a new column, or right? Or did I understood wrongly?
Column without impact. See, if we need to make a change to a table to a column, so they are not altering, right? Are they altering or they are adding a new column?
I understood as an altering actually. So.
Achha. But generally we add. I mean, I don't know. Once
I also never seen like altering. So this.
Yeah, I never see that because this question I've encountered recently 3 days before by an Infosys interview I just gave to him, and he asked me the detail of it. What will happen if update? What will happen in insert? What will happen in select? So.
Okay.
I think was asking me to like adding a column only. Yeah.
I think I assume is adding only.
So team, don't tell the company names. I don't know where I will fall under.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, my bad.
Understand?
Yeah, Venkat. That's fine. I'll make sure I won't take. Okay. Let's move on with the
So
next one.
let me add it. Okay. From your discussion, let's say alter. There are chances. Okay. I mean, not always. Alter is something earlier. The phone number is 10. We don't know future. It will be 11. So you have to increase the column size. Take that scenario. Go with the answer now.
So Venkat, so in that case, we have to check the select impact also, because whether that altered column are going to use in your select statement or not. If it is going to use, then we have to use the latest one. Also, when you select, you have to make sure the host variable that is going to consume that particular value, it also having the change data type. So impact.
Okay, fine. Okay. So team, this is my question to you. I'm removing it. So go ahead and mute everyone. Some background noise. So why we write C1, C2, C3? Okay. See, most of the cases, if you see any article anyway, they will say that we write select query like this. It is without cursor I'm talking about. There is no cursor concept. Let's take a simple select in our COBOL DB2 program. C1, C2 is there, we are writing. So why we don't write the columns record or something? Yeah, so we write column name, column 2, something like this into HVC record. Yeah, guys, can you Siva? Can you go on mute? So I hope you got my question here.
No, Venkat. Good one.
We will write the data, right? Yeah, the question is there now.
Okay.
So now the question is clear, right? Select column
Yeah,
1, comma.
like if in future, like if we want to add a new column to the table, then no need to change the program. Like if we are not going to use that particular column. So if you write select star, then it's going to be impacted. So if you write C1, C2, like whatever the columns that we need, then there is not going to be any impact if you are not going to use that new column.
Exactly. Okay. So team, I hope you got the answer. So
the other one we write the C1, C2 is for more readability and this thing, right? Venkat.
The readability is secondary. Readability is secondary, but yeah, I agree with you. So before readability, that is a best practice you say, but technically how it affects. Okay, what our colleague said, that is correct. I can say. Yeah. The other question over here.
Can you go down? Yeah. If I want to get a GDG latest version creation date, step to check the latest version is created today.
In a file header, we can print the date and time, right? Using that, at every step, we can check that header date and the time, and we can process the data.
So 2 more answers.
I think maybe the another approach. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
This thing is asking about checking about GDG's later version creation date, right? How can we check it? Because only when we just put the latest GDG version and we can just give an information, we can get it. But I don't know how to.
I am about to tell that. Yeah, I will just try. So I think in
sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can put that list all right, that thing, and capture that in a temporary file. Then you will be able to get the date which date like the GDG is created. GDG the latest version. Then based on that, you can further check in a sort or something with whether that date is today's date and process accordingly. I think I have done similar this long time back. I don't remember.
By using listcat, right?
I think I am telling. Yes, listcat. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So we may have to write multiple steps for that, right? So
But list cat,
From three or four steps actually. It will not be in a single step. Correct.
correct. Because
so list cat is used to identify, whether that particular file is present or not, right?
No.
It will give you details of information from which you can find out whether which date the file is created. Suppose that file is there a date you will get, then compare that with whether that's today's date, then process accordingly.
Yeah, let me finish it. Okay. So using listcat, we can get the information attributes. So that output we need to redirect to the one file. So we need to look out. We need to find, because listcat most probably the output is always same. Skeleton part it is same. So in another step, using sort card, we can put some condition. We can put the today's date, and we can hit the particular row and column or the number of bytes. So using sort we can do validation. Am I correct? Right?
Yes, Venkat, correct. In addition to that, I will add, instead of these many steps, we can go with a simple REXX routine for this. That will be easy.
REXX is okay, but REXX is not the always. You are correct, but yeah. Next.
Venkat, one more thing, like we can add date to the file name, right? There is a chance using
date. Sorry.
We can add date to the file name, right? Using that also we can, we can say that, right? So it's another question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is actually this question is straightforward. Like we can use giant keys, right, and get it.
Srinivas. Anyone wants to answer, or go to the next one?
But it is asked like what should be the logic in the program, but join keys is in sort, right, in JCL. So how can we do it in COBOL? Yeah.
The only thing I will tell you, the only thing they mentioned is both files are not in some sorted order in some key. So that is a keyword I forgot. If I have to see that syntax, you have to give not exam in giant case. I mean that file we will get a file one comma for if it is file is unsorted, you have to give a keyword. First it will do the sorting, then it will do the matching.
It is not sorted.
Guys, can you go on mute?
They're asking. Yeah, they're asking in a COBOL program.
So Venkat, we can create Venkat first. I think we can copy both the file. We can use a subscript for that. I think we can match the values. If it both are matching, we get into the output file.
One more answer.
This is CB here, Venkat.
Yeah, CB. Yeah.
Venkat, for this we need to use evaluate actually. So we may have a key for both the files. Let's say it's an account number. So we need to, before feeding into our module, we need to sort both the files by that account number. And in our module, we have to write the logic in evaluate. When file 1 account number is equal to file 2 account number, we need to perform our operation. If it is not matching, means we need to, whether if it's an file 1 account number is less than number account 2, we need to increase the, we need to read the file 1 again. So it will be read till it, if the account number is available in file 2. If it is not there, we need to write another when it will increase the counter of, it will read the next record in the file 2. By this way we can loop till the end of the both the files, and we can exit the logic.
Wait. Let me give the answer and we'll close it.
It's a file match logic.
It's a file handling logic, Venkat.
No. I'll try to give in a simple way. Let me close it. So whatever I can, before you ask me how I can give. So we can move the data, first file data into array, read the second data. So read the each row from second file, check in the array based on the condition, based on the search condition, we will write into respective files.
Correct.
If I am wrong, correct me.
It will be long time.
That is what. See, that is
Long
what I
running.
said. You need to use subscript and a occur clause table, internal table for that.
No, actually, file matching
And
logic is
added to
better.
that,
We need to use the internal
search
table,
all
right?
can
For
be
that.
used.
Yeah,
Search all will going to do a binary search. They don't do the sequential search, right? Search all cannot be used, I think.
No, just we need to get a key from the both the files, and we need to just perform the file matching logic. Before writing, just need to perform that operation and write that into output file.
Yeah, I also agree with Dinesh because I have recently built this project. Directly we can give the record. Not for every field we need to select this field is matching or not. We are considering the record then, right?
Because subscript or array will be a time complexity compared to this.
Can I answer, Venkat?
Yeah, quickly.
Yes, file handling is a fine answer, but file should be in sorted order. That's it.
Okay, fine. Going to the next question.
Venkat, sorry, Mr. Bing. Actually, I have one question in this one.
Yeah.
Like, even if the files are sorted, assume like we have duplicate keys in file A. So in that case, if we go for sort, it will get the exact match and we will get the records. But in case of COBOL, right?
Okay, so Deepan,
We
let
will
me
miss some
continue.
records.
Yeah, go on mute. I'll close it your question. So team, I'll reframe, or maybe I'm trying to reach his question as well as. See, okay, there is an array. There are 3 records are same. Okay, so how to display 3 records in full? I'm repeating my question. In array, 100 records are there, but 3 records are same. 3 records, when 3 key values are same. Now, how to display 3 of them? What is the question, the objective or logic here? As you know, either linear or binary search. One search is, when condition is satisfied, it will come out of it. Okay,
Search all.
but no, whatever you take, search all, search, both cases same. Okay, so
Okay.
search all also. Once it match, that's all. It will be out of search. Okay, it will not start from again this starting, right?
Correct. Half part is gone. Yeah.
Right. So now this is the question to you guys. Okay. See, I guess it. Yeah.
Venkat, can I answer this one?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether search for enough, but I will use the logic. The I and I plus 1. So like that. So we have to make a loop kind of, and we have to check first record to second, second to third, third to fourth, like that. So whenever we get the match, we will display. That's it. So definitely 3 records will be matched, and we will display, and after that it will come out from the list.
But I have to do it search. Okay, fine. That is the question. But the answer, for my question, I did not get the answer. Okay. What I expected. Fine, team. Next.
Yeah, what will happen if table is short? Yeah, this is what you can say delete rules based on this, right? There are multiple delete rules. Hello, Venkat.
Yeah. Go ahead. Delete, drop, truncate.
Correct. So there are ones delete and drop. What will happen if not will happen table? Oh, I think comma. What will happen to table if drop is? Is it like a foreign key or foreign key issue? I mean, uh, relationship you're talking about?
There is a simple question also is there. I guess they are trying to get the differences between them altogether. Okay. So, right. So drop means it will delete the content and the entire structure. Delete, only content will be deleted. Structure will remain the same. Hence, you can insert the data. So truncate, anyone wants to answer? It is there in SQL, but yeah.
Truncate, when we delete with the truncate, that contents will not be recoverable. I think so. Not sure.
There is a concept called commit and rollback. I agree with you. Okay. Yeah. So I guess you are correct. Okay. So I could able to recollect now. So delete means yes, you can able to roll back. Truncate means I guess you cannot able to recall them. So yeah, coming back to the delete part. So anyhow, drop is altogether related to structure, not related to the content, right? So deleting the content depends on the, as our colleague said, referential integrity concept. So there is no referential integrity between two tables. At any moment, we can delete any data. If referential integrity is there, and if you are trying to delete the data from primary table, and the corresponding data is in child table, you cannot delete it. That is depends on again definition of the table, definition of your table. So on cascade, on delete, on
not
set
null,
null,
yeah, set null, no, yeah, or restrict. In
yeah,
restrict
so
also.
Right. So depends on all of them, it will be decided. Okay. Yeah.
So Venkat, just one thing regarding drop. What you said, the structure is completely dropping, nothing related to data, right?
Data also. So if structure is not there, data how it will be.
Structure and data both. What we remove? Delete means
without
only
structure,
delete.
data cannot exist now.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Delete means only deleting the data. Truncate means no rollback. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Fine. Got it. Let's move on to the next one. I have a DBT program.
Drop and delete is only DBA's work, right?
I agree.
Out of
Correct.
syllabus for developer. COBOL DBT.
Nowadays, most of the questions from optimization, which is not our role. Right. Yeah, go ahead. Next question.
Truncate will affect the structure also, right?
Sorry?
Truncate is also affecting the structure.
That I have to see actually. I know I remember rollback or not, but structure we have to see.
But first table of the file should be count of records. So Venkat, what actually the question here is from database, and what I want to fetch a record from database condition and write into the file. The first record of the output file should be the count of record fetch of that. So we can write a count star that satisfied the condition. So we will get a count of those record which having satisfied those condition. And after that, we can put a condition, fetch the record one by one from the table and write into the output file. The first record output file should be the count of record fetch for that condition. We can route count star first. Once we have the count star that satisfied, that have the number that satisfied the condition. After that, next query we can write by fetching based on the columns which we needed into the output file.
Okay. Any another answer? One more answer.
We can use SQL ERRD.
SQL ERRD is not related to select, for your information. SQL ERRD to get the count while you are inserting, update and delete, not applicable for select.
Can I answer, Venkat?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, the one who was saying that count star is the correct one, but before count, we have to make in a bracket that select query to fetch all the records. Then only we can use the count. Okay, so just as a view, we have to make a result table, and on result table we have to make a count. So through that way, we have to write the record. After that, one by one, we can use like a cursor kind of. So that is my.
But what he said, first record of the output file should be the count of record fetch for that condition. So once I count or fetch the count, I'll write into my output file. Okay. and then based on that, from second row, I'll fetch the respective column that is needed and start writing into the output file. So in this way, I'll have the first record of my output file that contain the number which is present below in detail in that output file. I mean, maybe
Then we
some,
can write two SQL queries. First query
yeah,
to
yeah,
select count of
that is what,
records. Then
that is what
second
I said.
record,
First,
second, yeah.
first will be the select count. We'll write out select count star into the output file. Then second select SQL will fetch the respective column which is needed that satisfies the condition. Then we write into the output files. So two queries will be rated. Venkat, you
Yeah,
can add.
nested query we can use it then.
No, nesting is also not needed. You can write two simple queries one after the other. Nesting query will create two iterations will be needed. So it will be more time consuming in that case. Venkat, you can add some.
Yeah, correct. What you're saying, it is correct.
Okay, so I'm selected now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on with the next one, Venkat.
Yeah, all right. Again, it is JCL.
There are 100 steps there. If any one of these steps fail,
Go with the restart, right?
Suppose in my JCL there are 100 steps, 100 steps. If any of these fail, I need to. Venkat, just let me read. I need to execute. If all 100 steps success, failure step no need. Okay. Yeah, con parameter we can use.
Condition, yeah, condition is equal to even or
But
yeah.
for condition we can do a maximum of 8 only, right? Under steps
No,
we
but
can't check, right?
no, you can use con only or even only, right? Only or even
Only means the
only.
previous steps.
If
It
it's
will
failed,
check for the previous
yeah,
step alone.
if it is
Only
failed,
check,
then
it will check the previous step.
So
We
previous
can't
steps.
check for under steps success.
if any of this is step, not previous step, by default it takes all the steps. Okay.
Correct.
By default it
Yes.
takes. Yeah, if there is 10 step and event happened at 5 step and your con parameter is on 11 step, so it does not mean that your 10 step executed successfully, right? It will check the previous step until unless you explicitly explain those things into that con parameter step number. Else by default it will take all the previous steps. So I think con only can be execute. We can put it only. It will execute only if there is a failure.
Okay.
Venkat, what is it?
Correct. We can give that condition parameter. Okay. Okay, 1 minute, team. I'm going to. So I skipped a few questions which I felt already the basics. Okay, you can.
I think Venkat, yes, program A will be fine until and unless if you said commit. If are you using the cursor also in this in the COBOL code? If you use cursor withhold option, then even if you commit in other step, it will keep the cursor open. But ideally, in general scenario, it will be program A only.
Yeah, he has given answer also, in fact.
Yes. Oh, okay, correct. Yeah.
So, team, going to the next because whoever posted the question answer also given. So, just you tell in high level how to reverse data in a file via COBOL program, COBOL code.
I think this is my question only, which I posted you yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody want to give, because I googled that answer for this.
Do we use reverse function
We
for
have
each?
reverse
I think
function,
without
right?
using. I think Venkat, the question was without using reverse function.
We can use array for that. Just read the record and just revert the array by using success.
Yeah, so I think what I googled we need to use inspect for that, and we need to declare array in a dynamic way, then use inspect, and then decrement that particular thing and use the corresponding as this subscript, like move this last field to the first field. So it's a bit complicated, but yeah, it's possible.
When something can be done in inbuilt functions, we can directly use functions, right?
No, the question what I posed to Venkat, I think, is without using reverse function.
Or to reverse data in a file via COBOL code, right? So you
will
have to
be
print it in reverse order, right? You have to print the data in reverse order. The rows, records. Am I correct? That is the question right here.
Venkat, I want to answer this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, it's very simple. I did it. First, we have to know what is the length of the file. We can use a simple reference modification and make a loop. Like our file is 80, record length is 80. So 80, 1, 80, 80:2 kind of. So reference modification, it's the best way to read.
Okay. Yeah.
A team, I posting the link for a Google. Venkat, can I post the answer for this in the chat section?
Chat window, why not?
Yeah. So yesterday what I googled, I got that link, so I'm posting in the group chat. Reward string without using reverse function.
How much data we can pass through POM parameter?
Oh, sorry, what is the question? If you want to
the question is different. The question what you are reading is different. What I am asking is different. How many bytes you can pass the data through POM parameter?
100 bytes.
100
bytes.
So if that is the case, so then how to handle? So the question is very simple, right? If that is the case,
correct.
In logic you are finding difficulty. No, right? Yeah, one answer, at least one answer, since we copied already.
We can just read the record using linkage section. So first field would be the length of that record, and the second field will be the data. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But I think question was how we pass the 100 bytes. So I think we need to
80.
Yeah, so it is not possible in one line. So how we can go to the another line? So I think he's asking where we from next line we're going to start, and what are the parameters we need to give for continuation for the next line.
Yeah, you can take that as a question now. Maybe it's not mentioned.
Yeah, maybe it's between the lines or kind of thing.
4 to 16 columns, right? We can continue the data on 4 to 16.
So for a POM parameter, it's a maximum 100. When you pass from the second line, it need to be from 4 to 16. 4 to 16.
Okay. I guess we can complete. What is it now? Let's close by 50 today.
Pair of file record with the second file. The most optimal way.
IV compare utility of a JCL.
Yeah. 3.13 option is there. Yeah, the same utility is used there.
Yeah.
IV compare utility. There you can use a particular column. You can define it from 7 to 72, right?
Yes, right.
7 to 72 you can give. We can use
And
join keys.
We can mention two different columns of two different files as well, I think, while comparing using 3.13.
The join key is the best option, I think, if you want to compare for a larger file, because in 3.13 you cannot compare a huge file. So join keys is used for that, for comparing two files, which is having millions of records. How we can handle a restart within a COBOL program, not a JCL. Yeah. This is one of my question. Yeah. Okay. Checkpoint and restart logic. I think this one.
Checkpoint, are you speaking about IMS DB, KV?
Yeah. So the question that I've encountered, like, what is the logic? What is checkpoint, and how are we gonna restart it, and what is the functionality of it? So I explain. There are three ways of doing it. I explain using the counter to the interview panelist. When agar thing I also encountered, like, how are we gonna do the checkpoint? What is the functionality of it, and how are we gonna restart if there are, say, 20 million record and the issue happen after, say, 2 lakh record? So do I need to restart again? If not, what is the functionality? How you handle it? So checkpoint is a way where we can put the checkpoints at 10,000. Okay, after 10,000 we put increase the counter. So from 10,000 to 1 lakh, the counter will be 10. And after that, if it get abandoned or if some issue happen, so I know at least my 1 lakh record is already reached. So based on the counter, correct? Hello?
KV, for this, we can use a VSAM file and this
Yeah.
thing. Other one,
Yes,
we can
Table.
have
We
a
can
table.
use a table.
there is an internal table, and third is a VSAM file. VSAM file, we can use KSDS, I think, based on the keys we can do, and internal table we can use. So there are three ways, but I just explain only one. So that is why I put question here to Venkat.
The question is wrong. I think actually it is.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We can have a discussion on this question for more time
Yeah,
because
It is a DB to restart logic, Venkat. Actually, it is not a restart a job or something. We can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, Venkat. Yeah,
how are you going to restart it in COBOL code?
yeah, we can use a table. Like if we got an event, not event, we can store the program and the last account number in the
Yeah.
table. And we can again, if we execute the program, it will check for the program name and the account number key field, and it will read the records till that account number, and the next records will be processed in the program, not the records before the event happened. Correct me if I am wrong. Okay.
So you meant to say whatever the files that we have written in the keys, we have written to the file, those keys will going to skip. After that, it will going to write into the database.
No. Can I go?
Please explain. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in COBOL program, first we maintain a table restart
parameter that which
in
we
that
code in
the
about
program
the
name.
main para.
Hey, 1 minute, 1 minute. Dinesh, go ahead. Dinesh, go ahead. After that, I will take answer from Prem.
Yeah. Actually, in COBOL program, first we need to maintain a table, restart table with the program name and the key. We need to set a point. After that, first we need to read the table whether there is an entry for that program. If it's not, it will run as usual from top to bottom. Suppose it is some 10,000 record has been abandoned, means before that key might be moved to that restart table. So after it,
Dinesh, your voice is breaking. No, Dinesh is left. I guess network issue. Prem, go ahead, please. Prem.
Yeah, what Dinesh was speaking is correct. We do have in my organization, which we are following is like we are having a restart table. For that, we give the program name as well as the job name and the key fields. And before reading any this thing, we do check if there is any entry. And if the program runs, because even then we just have an entry on a commit basis, and at the end of the program we delete the entry from that table once it is runs normally.
So in that case, you guys write all the key records, every record keys into the internal table, right?
No. We do have a default commit of 500 for default.
Particular checkpoint you have. So based on that,
yes.
So based on that, for example, because I want to understand this answer for this. Suppose if there are only say 1,000 record in the which you want to write, and you put a commit at 100 point, okay, 100 records. So the 100, 200, 300, these are the keys you're going to write into the internal table.
Yes, KV. So only once after this thing is there for checkpoint, we do update it. And there is another team for every record that which they do right, they update the table, which is application critical. They also
And one,
follow for each inserts also they do. And in our project that which you are working, the default commit is 500.
okay. So you write before after the commit, right? Once you commit, and after that you will write the key into the internal table, or before commit you write?
No. Before commit, we just write that 500 record.
Before commit?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was after commit. Once we commit the record, then we need to write into the internal table and then move it to the next record. I don't know.
No, we follow the other way around. Both approaches this thing, but we follow the first approach. First
Okay.
write the 500 and then you just commit what all these things for the table. KV.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for explaining.
Okay. Next, where we are.
So the previous questions could be answered in 3 ways, right? So what I understood from the discussion.
Sorry?
Good.
So the previous question, yes. So the previous questions could be answered in 3 ways then. One is the checkpoint thing, other is the internal table, another one
VSAM file.
VSAM
One
file.
is there are 3 ways. That is what I said. One is a counter. Based on the counter, you can do it. Because in here, we have used a counter. And I never use an internal table. I never use a file. But when I Google it out, I found there are 3 ways of doing it.
Okay, got it.
So there is one JCL with 3 steps. Delete.
So Prem, Dinesh and KV, once you are done with session, just you can ping me on my WhatsApp or Telegram, wherever you are there with me. Let's have a one. Okay, we will create a one video for our people. Okay, on this part, I will write the program.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, I need your help here and there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Next.
I think it's a straightforward question.
Go with the answer now.
Huh?
Go with answer. Just give the
Yeah.
answer.
So I think there are 3 steps. I need to remove one of the steps from it. So first I'll check what that particular step do. Okay, do I really need that step or not, or it is a redundant step? Second, can I add that particular step functionality into the previous step? Okay, because there are many times redundant things we do. Okay, like sorting doing in different step, concatenation doing in different steps. So many times we can club two functionality into the one step. So we can delete the additional step which is redundant. Then I'll see if any module is calling, then we cannot delete it. Just I'll try to make sure that the functionality that the step that I'm going to delete can be added into the another step, or if I remove it, is there any impact on rest of the things? So 2 things I'll just make sure.
And one more thing, like if we remove that step, the file created from that step will be used from in another job also. We need to look that thing also once.
What is that? See, if file is using in that step, so that means the module is using, right?
Yeah, but some other job also may use, right? The same file.
If the module is using, we cannot delete it. That is what module is. We cannot delete it. If it is deleting, can we implement the same functionality to another step, or what will be the impact of it downstream?
Yeah.
Venkat, you can add. You can give some inputs into that.
Hey, you guys are giving better. You are the right person here. Okay, otherwise I would have given.
Yeah, Dinesh here. Actually, if there is 3 steps, the particular step we are going to delete, we need to check whether that return code is checked in the upcoming after that steps. So that need to also be checked whether the condition for the next step have been checked for that.
Yeah, downstream.
Correct. That also can be done. So almost all the points are covered here. Okay, so Let me stop the recording.